Let's bring in Leon Panetta, former defense secretary, CIA director under President Obama. Spent some time as chief of staff, just about everything here in Washington. He's always great when he comes on with us. Leon, thanks so much for being with us. We appreciate it. Let me ask you this. You know, congressional source tells us that there will be a briefing for the so-called Gang of Eight lawmakers, the top leaders in both chambers, and the key intelligence committee members. As you know, the Navy is in the process of recovering the spy balloon surveillance equipment. What do you think they're going to find? Do you think they'll find much that's useful?
Well, that's a very important briefing that ought to be provided to our congressional leaders, particularly if it's confirmed that this balloon had the capability to pick up sensitive information and was an intelligence gathering mission, was on an intelligence gathering mission. And secondly, whether it was maneuverable. I think those are the key points. If it is a spy balloon, if it's maneuverable, then clearly invading U.S. airspace was of concern, and I think the president made the right decision to shoot it down. So there's an awful lot of information we need to know in order to confirm our worst suspicions.
And you've been in the position of defense secretary, CIA director, White House chief of staff. Would you have advised the president to shoot down that balloon immediately as soon as it was becoming noticeable over the skies in Montana? Or do you think it made some sense from an intelligence gathering standpoint to let it drift for a while and let it get out over the ocean where it could be brought down without really any potential for danger below?
Well, you know, there are going to be lessons from all of this with regards to this kind of spy balloon, if it is in fact a spy balloon. If it was that, and if we were aware of the balloon, I think we should have taken steps to prevent it from entering our airspace. And I'm not sure that we should have allowed it to simply cross over the country, cross over what were obviously sensitive military sites. I don't see the logic of that. So the question obviously is, the Pentagon said that there were risks here. I understand that argument, that there were debris risks. At the same time, I think we should have acted earlier if our suspicions were valid that this was in fact on an intelligence mission. I hope in the future we make clear to China that this kind of incident cannot happen again, and it will not happen again. That in the future, if we see that kind of balloon, we are going to, if they don't take action to prevent that balloon from entering our airspace, that we will indeed shoot it down much earlier than we did this time around.
And I think if I have you straight, you're saying that you think this should have been shot down perhaps over Montana, something like that, maybe over a sparsely populated area, that sort of thing, before it crossed over the entire, almost the entire continental U.S.
Yeah, that bothered me, that that it was allowed to transverse the entire country, and for that reason, I think it probably would have been well for the president to have been transparent with the country about what was happening here. When they initially found that the balloon was there, when they considered it to be an intelligence gathering balloon, and frankly, when the president made the decision to shoot it down. If he made the decision on Wednesday to shoot it down, I think that should have been made public. It would have prevented some of the criticism that occurred later. And the American people, I think, are entitled to know just exactly what our adversaries are up to. So I think greater transparency would have helped the White House as well.
And our reporting indicates that the Pentagon waited a bit to inform the president of this. Would that have rankled you a bit if you had been the White House chief of staff in the middle of all this?
You bet.
I suspect so.
I think when the Defense Department, when the Pentagon sees a suspicious large balloon that is about to enter our airspace and impact on our sovereignty, I think they have an obligation to let the President of the United States know that immediately so that he can then decide what steps are going to be taken in order to protect the country.
And as we can see in this map, Secretary Panetta, and I could describe it to you if you're not looking at it on your screen, but the Chinese balloon was spotted near a number of U.S. military bases from Montana through the middle of the country all the way over to the Carolinas. I know you probably know exactly where all those bases are. And U.S. officials said they were taking steps to protect against foreign intelligence collection. Do you think the Pentagon could have used electronic interference or other measures to prevent the balloon from acquiring important information? That is what the Pentagon was indicating yesterday, that they were able to mitigate this somewhat.
Well, I think it's very important to do the analysis on the technology that was aboard that balloon. We're making a lot of guesstimates at this point, but it seems to me we do need to retrieve as much of that as we can in order to determine just how sensitive the technology was. If it was, in fact, the kind of technology that could gather intelligence or pick up signals of one kind or another and really obtain very sensitive information, then that raises a lot more concerns about allowing it to do that and just exactly what China will do with that information. If, in fact, it was a weather balloon, then I think, obviously, the world needs to know that as well. So a lot is going to depend on what our intelligence officials and the FBI that look at that, at all of that equipment, what determination they make as to what, in fact, was involved with this balloon. That is important for the United States, it's important for China, and frankly, it's important for the American people to know the truth.
And just very quickly, the Chinese response after it was shot down was pretty pointed, and they seem to be objecting, expressing, quote, strong dissatisfaction. And so, I mean, shouldn't the White House be telling the Chinese essentially to shove it?
You know, we know the what, but we really don't know the why here, Jim. Yeah. Why would China do something like this? They obviously knew that the balloon would be detected. They knew that the United States would respond. They knew that that what happened was likely to happen. So why did they do it? What's the message they were trying to send? I have a feeling that they were probably trying to send a message that relates to our reconnaissance over China. We do reconnaissance over China operating from international airspace. They've never liked it. They've always threatened our planes as a result of that. I really think they were trying to send a larger message about what we do to gather information on China.
All right. Former Defense Secretary, former CIA Director Leon Panetta, thanks again, as always, for the time. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Jim.
All right. Good to see you.